The defense team in Donald Trump's criminal hush money trial has rested its case, and the judge has adjourned the trial until next Tuesday. Even though he said he wanted to testify, the former president never took the stand. He was flanked by his son, Donald Trump Jr., and members of the GOP as he entered the courtroom this morning. The court heard from lawyer Robert Costello again today as prosecutors cross-examined him. CBS News national correspondent Errol Barnett is following the trial, as he has been from the beginning there in Lower Manhattan. Errol, what comes next now that each side has finally rested its case?
Hey there, Lilia. Good afternoon to you. What a journey we've been on. What comes next is a bit of respite for the jury as closing arguments will begin Tuesday of next week. And as you mentioned, the defense has rested, the prosecution rested yesterday, and this kind of caps what has been more than 5 weeks of testimony with roughly 20 witnesses and hundreds of exhibits that will eventually get us to 12 New Yorkers deciding former President Donald Trump's guilt or innocence. But yesterday, in that courtroom behind me, we witnessed what was some of the most dramatic moments of the entire trial, combative exchanges between Judge Merchan and the defense's witness, Robert Costello. CBS News campaign reporter and attorney Katrina Kaufman was inside the main courtroom when Judge Merchan declared the jury to leave and for everyone else to leave because of how combative Robert Costello, legal advisor to the Trump team, was being. Describe to us what happened and why that's significant, Katrina.
So Costello had just recently took the stand when this happened, and there had been all of these sustained objections, and the judge had heard Costello audibly sigh and then say geez in response to one of the objections that he sustained, and he was just being contentious with the judge. So the judge gave him a speech on decorum. He said that he is the one who controls the courtroom, and then Costello gave him a glare, at which point Judge Merchan, who's normally this very composed, calm, collected judge in this court who has real control over everything, just raised his voice, cleared the courtroom. It was total chaos.
Because at that moment, it's court security who then turned to the reporters and everyone in the room to say, get out.
Yeah, and they really ushered us out of there. I saw a guard with his hand on his holster because some of the press were trying to talk back and argue that we should be able to stay in the courtroom. One of them was actually the press lawyer, but they really drove us all right out of that courtroom while Merchan gave the witness a talking to.
Now, the jury didn't witness that piece of it, but they were sent out of the room because of the judge wanting to speak to Costello, and this was the defense's opportunity not just to poke holes in Michael Cohen's testimony, but to kind of make the case that Donald Trump did not have anything to do with the hush money scheme at all, or the repayments to cover up the alleged sexual encounters. So now that the jury has a full week to go home, they're not supposed to look at news coverage or speak to any relatives about this. What impression have they been left with at the culmination of this trial? They haven't heard closing arguments, but what impact does that have?
I mean, I would say that this final witness was supposed to be for the defense, but he really felt almost like a better witness for the prosecution. I'd say the one thing that he got across is he claimed that Michael Cohen had told him he didn't have anything on Donald Trump. But the prosecution actually got him to admit that there was an email exchange where he told Michael Cohen that he had friends in high places. Supposedly Costello was a back channel of communication between Cohen and Trump via Rudy Giuliani. And so really in the end, it felt like he almost affirmed aspects of the prosecution's case, and that's what the jury is being left with. It felt like a very anticlimactic end to a very big trial.
Donald Trump ultimately did not testify. He's complained about being muzzled in and outside of the court. CBS News were able to capture Donald Trump Jr. saying that he didn't want to validate this kangaroo court and it's a sham. Why would it have been a risk for Donald Trump to testify?
He would have been very vulnerable on the stand. The prosecution could have impeached him with a number of his prior misconduct. For example, the E. Jean Carroll trial, where he was found guilty of sexual assault, aspects of the New York civil fraud trial, where he owes the state of New York $500 million. And so he just would have had a lot of vulnerabilities had he taken the stand. And both he and his legal team knew that it was going to be a mistake.
And even without that, Lilia, it has never been a dull moment inside this courthouse. And now we have about a full week before the official closing arguments begin, before the jury gets the case and will begin deliberations. But a significant end to the defense now as they rest their case today.
Errol, Katrina, great to have you both. Thank you.